All right, all right. What's up, guys? Matt here, Flex Trades. I hope everybody had a great Wednesday. Tonight's video should be pretty short, sweet, to the point. I'm going to go over broad market, updated thoughts there. And then I have a couple individual names that I have a game plan for. I'll visualize with you guys, but kind of going into the end of this week, maybe into the start of next week, kind of what I'm looking for, how I'm looking to execute on it. Broad market today, nice follow through. Again, this big level that I've been talking about, which really should be on everybody's radar because it's glaring as far as I'm concerned. This 415, 416 area, which I talked about the other night, and I said, not necessarily prolonged, but I do want to see a digestive phase off of this candle here. And we got the couple red days over the last couple days with those upper wicks. So we had a couple relatively weak days, but big picture point of view, they were actually quite strong because they were pretty narrow range and they held well. And then today we just had a all day ripper and engulfed the last 3 days, and we closed right below that huge level. So again, keeping things short, sweet, to the point, this is the big level, guys. And while the ideal scenario in my mind is for a little more prolonged digestive phase up in this area, as long as we hold higher lows and continue to construct something along these lines, right? This would be obviously ideal for me, gives us some more time, collect some more chart data, and then we stair step back up into this 415, 416 break, and then we break it and we have some follow through up toward that 425, 430 range. However, like I say, there's always contingencies in place. If this were to break over the next couple days, it's a big bull signal because we ran into this area it was a brick wall back here in late May, early June. Tested it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, practically 6 times, practically every day for about 2 weeks straight, and then just completely waterfalled. Off that level, we had a almost 13% decline in the course of a week. And then it took us the better part of 3 months to make up that ground. And now we're back retesting it. So again, I say this often, you can't necessarily just assume that these levels are going to break their first try. The ideal thing would be for some sideways, some digestion, collect some more chart data, and then we go from there. So that's kind of what I'm eyeing. That's the most ideal scenario. And again, big picture, as long as we're creating higher lows and we're not putting in big, ugly, nasty gap downs with follow through, right? Something that we had throughout the course of the spring and early summer, then we're on the right track. But this is a big bullish break, multi-month inflection level right there. And it's looming large. So it's a very interesting spot, keeping a close eye on it. I could go into a couple other setups, but I really just want to kind of focus my attention on SHOP because we had the first close above this multi-month inflection level that I've been talking about. I've been talking about this level for months now, and there's been some good trades in between this range. Believe it or not, there's been multiple very solid trades, but finally, for the first time since I've been covering this over the last several months, we broke through it and we closed above it and some volume to support it. Like I said the other day on that earnings, that weird gap down the other day on, the layoff news and then the earnings report, which was poor, but market reacted positively. We filled that gap, had a couple days digest, and then we've kind of curled our way back up and finally closed above it. So where my head's at, where is my head going into the trading session tomorrow? So I've taken a good chunk of profits. It's not the time and place for me to be greedy, especially with broad market right at this massive level, right? Not a spot I want to stay greedy in or get greedy or become greedy, right? I want to take profits. I want to lock profits. That's the name of the game, right? So I've done that. And, I'm still very much like I said a moment ago with broad market. It's, you break these levels. You don't just necessarily assume that you break and just kind of rocket off from there. what I'm eyeing for over the next day or two would be a series of inside candles. And so I'll kind of visualize with you guys for a moment what I'm looking for. Something like this, right? A pullback tomorrow, maybe even down below 40, maybe even into the 39s, maybe down toward 39, something like that. And then if we have another candle, another inside day going into the day Friday, something like that, that would set us up brilliantly going into the week next week, right? A series of inside days, contract right at this multi-month inflection point that's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus times. It was support here and then acted as a resistance 8 different times, and we closed above it today. So ideally, we can digest a couple days, narrow range, contract a little bit, and then work our way back up toward 42. And then that would be, again, the spot, today's high, which I would be looking to get back into it. So again, that's kind of the ideal scenario one. And if we were to do something like this, and then let's just say Monday next week, we have a follow through candle, I think this has range to get up toward 45, maybe even into the upper 40s. That's kind of been the game plan all along. And that thought process is still very much the same. So like I said, just to recap, ideal scenario, a couple inside days, contract a little bit, and then retest that 42 spot and have a follow through up into the mid 40s, maybe even up into the upper 40s. However, like I say, there's always contingencies in place because rarely does the market cooperate with the ideal scenario that we are visualizing. So what that might look like is maybe a small gap down tomorrow and then a rally, and then we break today's high and we just follow through and we get this kind of candlestick tomorrow. Of course, that's possible. I think it's less likely. I think it's the less likely scenario. But of course it's possible. And if that were to happen, my position size is still comfortable enough where, I would still collect profits. I would still be more than happy. But again, like I'm saying, just rehashing one more time, ideally an inside day or two, contract a little bit more, and then we can follow through. And similarly, something like Hood, HOOD, finally got that move I've been talking about, that $9.50 spot, the big spot that I've been eyeing with you guys for the last several weeks. We busted through it pretty quickly this morning, had a nice follow through into the mid $10 range. So again, kind of with what I was just talking about with SHOP, SHOP, ideally we can get an inside day or two, contract a little bit, and then stair step our way back up to today's high. So game plan wise, kind of how I'm looking to scale into these guys over the next couple days is if we have an inside day tomorrow going into Friday, I'd be looking for tomorrow's lows to hold, right? So the low, whatever that low point is over the next couple days, as long as it's inside of today's candle, I'm looking for that to kind of be my risk moving forward as kind of a baseline for that potential follow through blow off trade. SHOP, HOOD, same thing, right? So like I said, these are kind of my main focus at this time. There's a few other names that I could talk about, but I don't really see myself trading them over the next couple of days because again, broad market in a spot where I think we run into some supply, word jumble, and that would create a couple days, maybe longer, of some chop. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have a massive effect on something like these setups. So I think the thesis can hold intact over the next couple of days. So that's what I'm looking for. All right, guys. I hope everybody's staying patient. I hope you guys are executing on some of these game plans, and same rules apply. We make our money, we lock profits as always, and just never time to get greedy. So with that all being said, I hope everybody has a great Thursday, and if anything new pops up or anything game changing pops up, anything like that, I will definitely notify you guys. But other than that, I hope everybody has a great day tomorrow, and I will see you later. Peace.